carried the game.
I'm not sure whether he's ever going to get to that stage, right? Because Timbersaw, I mean, he scales, but not as much as you might think.
Yeah, if you're snowballing super hard and you get to Dagon 5 and whatnot and you're just popping people non-stop, then sure. But like you're saying, it is scaling at this point. I guess the Ags is certainly... he does still have to be... It's interesting, the dynamic against the Phantom Lancer, right? On the one hand, he's really good at clearing where the real PL is. On the other hand, the PL makes it really hard for him to play. He kind of has to just drive by the PL constantly. Can't really afford to just sit there and let him hit him. And the PL illusions are pretty tanky at this point. Kind of takes him a full combo to clear them out.
Also, it's going to be hard to find a PL, the real PL. Timber by himself doesn't actually output enough damage to do anything against a hard PL.
Fnatic's draft, so you feel like did they misplay this? Should they?
The laning stage went fine. The fact that MV has died a bunch of time, because the way that Fnatic, when they're playing well, like well-oiled machine, and then picking people off with that Shadow Blade, that's essentially playing.
Shadow Blade hit off, and Ohio at this point, he's tanky enough at this stage to be able to survive the tiny all by himself. Alright, well I guess they get this Ags on the Timber, they stall the high ground, they spell the Wraith King is going to help. Envy does have his Radiance up now, so I mean, I'll an MKB I suppose, though Nando's actually just going to go a slightly different route and just queue up a heart, stack some more status resistance so I don't...
Fnatic's damage output is not that high. I mean, Firestorm's very... but... moment, and of course Wraith King is just melee, so he's going to get kited. So I definitely like the fact that they're really tanky, because I doubt that they have enough to punch through, all that heart. And
yeah, they're just not going to get the opportunity to sit there and right click and do damage. It's not like the Tiny and the PL are the only heroes for Execration. They might work in the fights. Even an Ogre Stun or like the Force Staff plays as well from Raging Potato. I got half of my wish. He's got the Unrefined Fire Blast online. There you go. When you get farmed on Ogre, well, turns impact. I think the fourth.
And look at this, Ohio doesn't give a single cares in the world. There's going to be DD onto Envy as well, and I think Envy's making the call. He's like, screw bottom lane. You can take bottom tower, but I'm going mid. I have a DD. He's running straight in here with the Shadow Blade, the Phase Boots as well, and Execration is smoked up. There's a little bit of damage also done to these towers as well, just from creeps coming in, and mostly like Envy going crazy. He's going to take out the T-Carnation here. But again, he still has Aegis to back up. The Global Silence comes. Lumic taking a little bit of damage here. The Doom will be used onto Abed, but I don't think Malice catches 3. And they want to go for Envy, but he still has the Aegis. Carnation costs no mana, so he might actually hold here. Ohio getting forced in. What a play there from Raging Potato. He's going to get stun locked down. Cheese coming out from Ohio. I think that was a bit of a bait actually that he put himself out of position there. Envy wanted to go back in. He has Reincarnation up again. So if he dies here, he's not gonna about the 3-life Wraith King. It's really scary. Oh, actually just gonna kill Yash. Whoops. And Tiny stuck in the Pit of Malice. He can't leave, and he's gonna go down. 90 seconds off the deck. He just lose his life here. He's like, please kill me. About half HP, but he's still quite
aggressively and seems to be working wonders. And like you were saying, Mjolnir gonna get queued up. I think we've also got the Ags. Nando has his heart. He is very tanky. Inside of the wards, I'm not sure. The Earth Splitter also coming through. They're going to get the pit roots. The root once again. And he's dead. Oh no.
Alright. That was 7-second BKB chart. Numbers advantage. Pretty much everywhere they go. Underlord to bring you around, but they've been moving. It does reflect that on the experience graph, where Fnatic is moving around perhaps too much even with their 5-man.
Right now, Wraith King's actually got a double damage. I think Envy is egging his team on towards the high buyback, given that they just saw him with the heart. But Envy just wants this tier 3 at the very base here. Ultimate available. Looks like it is going to end up being popped. They get the Hex over. I see the Global's going to get popped. Lumic taking some damage. Carl having to disengage a minute to him in that last fight. Just couldn't quite get the heart to do anything for himself. Low, the non-stop chakram spam. 10 seconds time. Ohio still waiting here, very far forward. The Force Staff plays once again from Raging Potato. Drill, but no Dark Rift. And now Carl jumping forward, but he just can't seem to do enough damage. The Atrophy Aura is so annoying. The Phantom Lancer just getting burdened down. He does have his ultimate available. Nice Shadow Blade dodge as well from Envy there. He will now get stunned up. Raging Potato doing a dodge will get ticked down. Abed getting that he can to fight, but he's in the middle of everyone on Fnatic. Can't even get off any. We wondered about Fnatic's damage, but it looks like they've got more than enough. Carl re-engaging into this fight at long last. Envy just wants to hit the floor since he is going to be working their way through the racks. They get the stun over onto the Phantom Lancer. Can they keep the chain lockdown going? He will be able to doppel across. He wants this Abed. Highlight die low on mana, but actually able to keep things going courtesy of the Greaves. DL's dead. He's going to be forced to buy back, but still no Tiny. It's just some stuns on the Wraith King. Envy, no ultimate just yet. Chain stunned. Not finished. He actually has the Aegis. Have not done any damage to this Rax, Lumi. Ohio is doing his damnedest. He's got the 195 Atrophy Aura. Envy finally turns to the 4-staff plays. Abed getting heal die ready with and Carl just wondering how he engages into these 3 beefcakes on the Fnatic lineup.
Although that seems like countering the whole idea of having beefroot frontline. It's really successful. He goes in, the global comes out, and he gets to assassinate DJ or whoever that was.
He manages to find. Fnatic are cashed up now. The net worth gap has closed significantly in Ohio Heart, so we have a 3.7k health Underlord. We've got only a 2.6k health Wraith King, but he's got 3.2k health Timbersaw. That's versus the almost... As we've seen, the Tiny's actually looking very killable in these fights. So, Execration. Just gotta get that initiation, I suppose. Great. I think they still have their... Oh no, looks like they've lost it, and they're not even bot. They're just kind of milling around in their jungle. They don't have a glyph available either. Down. Those are Ag's wards. They're going to make very quick work of these buildings. A little bit further behind, Carl trying to come in onto the back lines. He looks towards Abed, forced to die back, and Pylai die also in a great position, using the cores as a shield. They get the Doom over onto the Timbersaw, but they have to focus him down. Carl knows it. They do get a nice multicast onto the Timber. They finish him off. Now they get over into the trees. They find DJ. He's shacked to TP out. It looks like he might actually be able to escape. Envy not brought along with the Dark Rift out, but he's actually his way out of there. In the end, Rax take big damage. The tier 3 gets taken out, but Execration do hold successfully. That was better, right? They had the Phantom Lancer kind of come in from the side and actually managed to focus the Timber down that time, because the previous time he got Doom and they couldn't finish him. Alright, Execration's turn to maybe make something happen. They push in the mid lane pretty heavily, opting for the 3 toss charges at 25. They've seen the 3 toss charges. It's just sort of more lockdown than the cooldown. Nope. Alright, they've spotted the Ear Splitter, gets dragged back in. Pi doing tons of damage all by himself. The multi-corner now. Tree's getting cut down. He does. Eternal Envy finds Lumic, and I don't think there's any escape for this poor Silencer. That's revenge for all that stolen int in the early game. Trying to play a little bit of a scrappier game. They've got the bottom lane shoving in, so someone has to go and deal with that. But with Octarine Core, and very easy for Abed to handle. It feels like Fnatic have really just flipped the switch in the last few minutes.
There's like some item that they picked up as a major power spike that allowed them to do that, but the way that they're in the better, not necessary, you know, their heroes are coming online. Their heroes are always strong enough to actually put up a good fight against Execration's heroes. Just that they have doing it wrong for
like kind of the Radiance plus level 20 on the Wraith King. The fights a bit more, like threaten the buildings. It just kind of gives their team fight the structure that it was lacking before, because man, right? They can't really they can kind of put the Underlord up there, but he's also somewhat and I guess at this point he's so tanky that changed between all the previous. They ended up winning.
Yeah, and he's getting heart next. So, by the way, who already has the Aghanim, of course. Like they could just walk down mid now and then just take.
I don't think. I mean, the only other person that you would even remotely consider got enough lives. So we've got to have the initiation coming in. They get the avalanche out into 2. Envy doing all right. Ohio's still in the pit. The toss is coming out. Carl jumping into the limit. limping away, able to use his Ghost Scepter to help tanking through everything, however, as Ohio now just standing in the middle of the fight, make DJ. Those crits coming into play for the through. Ohio still chasing. They will match so far, but Yaj will get brought down. Envy's ultimate was popped, but he still has the Aegis, and Nando has Execration not really claiming all that much.
Refresh shard now. Envy's holding it. Maybe he wants the third life. I highly doubt it.
I would imagine so. It's just, if you've already died twice, ulti, Aegis,
the team's already
dead. There's no chance that they're still around to try and save you. So, Nando's been doing some pretty effective split pushing. I mean, the game also really fell apart once he got caught that one time. Conservative, or he's only really cutting waves at this point. He isn't trying to go for any solo pickoffs. Part of that is because all of the Fnatic heroes, I think, at this point have to survive if he is time that somebody else arrives and he ends up dying. So, can they split push this game out? Do you think? There's no way against the Unch lanes just as well as Execration, if not better.
I wonder if it's gonna be a solo play. Is DJ gonna pick that up?
Nope.
Nope. Looks like Envy's gonna pick it. There's a gem just on the deck.
Yeah. Now they're pinging it out. DJ's gonna grab the gem instead. Shiva's up on the Doom 5 just yet. Phantom Lancer has an Abyssal Blade. Like a nice item.
Okay, it does, but walking right in.
They're inside the base. Are they just gonna go for it? There's ward set 1,
yes,
there's ward set 2. They are gonna be able to pop fast enough. Carl forced to jump forward into the stuns, into the pit. He's in big trouble. Nice Glimmer Cape as well, but Envy just turns his doing decent damage with the Infernal Blade. They have managed to get the Doom over onto the Timber, but once again, Abed's surviving for a decent amount of time. He buys back now, will be rejoining the fight. Also a buyback coming out of Nando. He's being finished off. Carl, so low. I think tier 4 is dead. Lumic forced to back away. They've got a shackle onto the Ogre. He'll be brought down. Yaj doing everything that he can. Carl, I think it all comes down. He gets right-clicked, and he'll be finished off. That should be the game. Nando forced finally killed, but Fnatic, they slam the door closed and will end up taking this first game here against Execration.
GG.
Fnatic, they brought back like almost a 20k net worth lead.
Be more impressive than a victory than that they had yesterday, where it was like 30-minute wins, 2 games in a row. To me, this shows that Fnatic has a really strong backbone. Like during that mid game, we're saying, you know, what exactly was a win condition? They weren't gonna lacking the damage that they need. But turns out they're not looking to kill anybody fast. They're looking to just outlast you. And during that last team fight, the Mass Serpent wards were up for what, a good full minute, and they just fought around.
I love the way that they played the space, right? They put the pit down on top of the wards, and then they just escaped for a second, and they were just like, just let him go. It's fine. He has to come back to deal with the wards. We know that we're in a game-winning position at the moment. You can see the moment on the graph where the anime music kicked in, and but it's not over just yet. There is still a best of 3 to be played, so Execration still have an opportunity to come back and take us to a full 3 game forward into the next stage of the Bucharest Major SEA qualifiers. Any other closing thoughts on this game, Lumi, before we move into the next one?
Yeah, where Envy finished his anime training and went to work.
Yeah. All right. With that said, we're going to go to a short break, guys. Please join us in a couple of minutes for Game 2 of Fnatic versus Execration. Welcome back. It's Bucharest Major SCA versus Fnatic. As we let ourselves into the draft for Game 2, we're going to find Fnatic 3 series. I'm Basekip. Joining me once again is Lumi, and let's get started.
We just witnessed Fnatic making a very impressive comeback where they were down by, what is it? What's the number?
It was like 20K? It was like almost 20. I would have said. So.
But
good stuff.
Even though they kind of got themselves in my opinion, choosing some poor fights, right? They went into the jungle multiple times, and Envy quickly got underfarmed as a result. Kind of just hunkered down, Envy, and got that level 20. So very key.
There were definitely some fights that they could not take in, right? They could have just continued farming a little bit faster on the timber, pushed some more lanes. So we'll see. Maybe a little bit more patience for them this game. I'm interested to see how this draft develops in this situation.
It seems like they believe that Doom is the best. They don't have first pick, they always ban it. If they do, which is very interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. So, I wonder if the Tiny is going to make it through. It's clearly a hero that both teams are willing to, but I haven't really seen it being banned so much in SCA in the last. So I guess we'll have to see, because there were lots of position 4s, as many. So Raging Potato and DJ gonna have kind of the pick of the litter.
Interesting.
That's interesting. See the Ogre banned out. But I mean, they feel like Execration are comfortable with.
10 seconds.
I wonder what this game, because Fnatic seem to have like some pre-made combos in terms of their two supports, like they're like Rubik and I think it's like often Rubik and Ogre, Shadow Shaman, ET. So alright, this time around they're just gonna go for the Tiny and I guess leave it until a little bit later.
Pick a support combo when you can, you know.
Yeah, when you've only got first pick, you don't have a 1-2.
10 seconds remaining.
So Execration have, I mean, they're in the first phase. I'm gonna actually bring up their recent drafts and just have a look.
Bounty Hunter generally is picked very highly, very team based. I think some teams just
Execration
are definitely a team that plays it. Yeah.
Oh, so there you go.
All right, this is okay. This support duo immediately screams to me that they have at all. And I can imagine that Fnatic are probably thinking the same thing. They're like, all right, how do we angle or PL or Storm or trash the these no lockdown supports? I think it's also especially important. A lot of the Jakiro playstyle from everyone that plays it is sort of being very aggressive and just shoving lanes. You're kind of constantly just spamming dual breath, threatening the buildings, though you're the position 5. Someone who can just, you know, run across and kill the Jakiro by himself with not that much of a commitment, then the Jakiro just turns into food. So I'm definitely looking for that.
I think that's more so for sieging the tier 1 towers. I've seen it less successful going for. Players have been adjusting to that. I think they do go for the early tier 1 pushes on all the lanes, and after a position 5 that sometimes hits stun during a team fight, where then until like once you go for the high ground siege, then he becomes super easy to start liquefying. In fact, I've seen Jakiro actually take the attack range talent increase at level 20 to the base tower and a much like safer distance.
Do you feel like this might be a reaction? So did Execration have problems in the last game going high ground? Because we saw that their approach against the and all of the other clear that Fnatic had, especially with the ET thrown in split, right?
Yep.
So maybe this
and they got a Rex out of that.
I guess after that point, we didn't really see them get into a position where they were able to. But maybe that's something that bothered them a little bit last game, that they were forced to, even in a position with the high ground. So maybe trying to give themselves a guaranteed way to break high ground if they get ahead this game.
Lord, as the high ground defense, but what struck really powerful that I didn't realize previously was the Aether Lens that was picked up by the Shaman.
Plus the
he was able to, he was far away to just like pull the creeps back or just like hex and shackle super far away.
Yeah,
and that caught multiple heroes. Kind of to me, that was like a big part of base defense as well.
Yeah, a very 5-man oriented lineup here, right? It's they're gonna take some early tier 1s with the Geek, and as a result of that, they've got the ideal the Tidehunter, and interestingly enough, Fnatic gonna pick up to be one of their preferred methods of just kind of slowing down the game, spamming out waves, defending the high ground. Though I wonder playing what, because I feel like for the majority of the time I've seen these are 2 Pylai supports.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be able to. DJ could play the hero.
Yeah.
So this screams Medusa to me right now. Venge carry. So that's gonna. Medusa's also very good in this game, where I don't think he particularly cared too much about Tiny. In fact, he has a very good matchup versus Tiny in the mid to late game as well.
Could be what? So Medusa, I think, is quite good. Maybe in previous patches, I don't know if the SF is going to be that amazing of a pick. So they've got options in terms of what they want to grab, whether and decide if they feel like there's too much burst damage or too much benefit from the aura, benefit from the minus armor.
Turn to bed.
Unless this is just a cleric hero. And they were able to pull a couple of those games out, but the world that does
support hero, but I can't immediately remember.
A Helmet Dominator build, which is like, I think Ice was the one that first really popularized it, where you could put the Iron Shell on the creep, and depending on the creeps that you get, you could and then get off claps and stuff, or that can actually be like pretty impactful in a team fight.
Ohio is probably the best player. I think I'm going to say he's definitely the best player in the world when it comes to the Centaur shenanigans. Urging your creep in and then blinking after it and vacuuming everybody on top of it and get that way too reliably. He makes it look like it's just a spell that Darkseer stun. It just makes sense.
It's scripted, you know. Yeah. It's just like you run your Centaur in. But yeah, it's gonna be again kind of creating that space. The Furious Wipes, and then you have and Tiny mid traditionally be Ursa.
Their answer to go and brawl, just like go and fight them, right? They don't necessarily split push that. The Darkseer does. Yeah. The other thing is that they also hit any buildings, right? Their building damage is bad, other than Tiny, which is easy to just walk up to a tower and hit it. Into an ice path or into a ravage or something like that.
Occasion for the Ursa pick. I mean, it's very good in the lanes.
It owns.
But apart from that, I'm sure there are other heroes that are better. Well, the fact that Ursa doesn't scale that well.
The Queen of Pain. So Venge gonna have to be doing the majority of the right click as well. You see Mjolnir a lot. Back speed talent over the seems to be that is the better talent. But co-op in terms of the matchup, this for the oh my! What is this Pylai Tide?
Some misclicks.
Is it?
All right. So the last time I seen Pylai, I think when he was back in Clown, or was it Team Secret? That might have been Team Secret. Neutral creep towards the creep wave, and then just do like some shenanigan and pulls and stuff. You go to mid lane, you triple level 2 enfeeble. They have no base damage.
All right. They swapped it. They swapped it. We're good. We don't have to. We don't have to theory craft on the merit.
It has been done before.
Yeah,
so
it's not completely. Instead, let's talk about the Queen of Pain. Tiny can actually win this matchup insanely hard. Though I think that it's not just Tiny versus Quap plus Bounty Hunter versus the Tiny, and Fnatic don't really position 4 hero to.
Put the Bane there.
Yeah, they can put the Bane there.
Is going to be very impactful there. Does well in the lane or have a shot in the lane, and you just toss nonstop. But you also pick up a very early infused raindrops.
Do you see the Congo line? Sorry.
It was actually just like a one circle Congo line, and it decided to like
all right, we gotta get to these lanes. Bounty Hunter scatting them out here. Sneaky spot to reapply the invis. Either Abed in some trouble here, getting slowed up by the orb. He's already got the tree grab. Is there going to be another stun soon? I don't know if they're even really going to need it. Pylai trying for the desk. That's some damage down. Lumic is going to get burned out, it looks like. So it's a 1-for-1 trade any day of the week. Killing off the Tiny before he even gets his bouncer in. And he's got a little bit of a wait before he can head out to the lane. At least he won't miss any XP. A lot of that is the Bounty Hunter, like, sneaky speed, immediately run into position to kill him.
In fact, that was 100% that. Ohio gonna double Iron Shell in the bottom lane and Vengeful Spirit, but should be fine here. Not gonna take too much damage.
Is Darkseer like the last hero left where you don't just steal the wave in the off lane? I mean, seen people do it as Darkseer, but this is the kind of the standard start. Lots of damage getting traded out, but Nando's actually the one taking all the. He's got the salve. The duel be brought down. Nando has a stun in 3 seconds time. He just has to survive until then. DJ's not going to give him the opportunity. Lays into him with the. It's not the briefcase this time around. A little bit too far. Nando's already respawned, and if he gets in range with the magic missile, I think that might be the end of DJ. Dual breath. Still another couple of seconds. We got something's happening at mid, but we don't have any opportunity to look over there since it's just mana and damage being traded everywhere at bottom. Ohio still has the surge, so feeling somewhat confident, but the magic missile is available. And Nando steps around, the sleep comes through. Will the right clicks do it? Nando's tanking all of the. Nando manages to go invis. This bottom lane is being just absolute chaos. We've already got.
I feel like they're trading a bit too. Shells is gonna do a lot, but it's only like they are.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think they are getting a little bit. Some pretty good levels though. That's the one thing that has been working out. Oh, Abed is. I think Abed might be quite dead here on mid. The Janata is up. Carl needs to be able to cool down for 2 more seconds. 1 second. Pilot Eye coming in with the sticks up. Carl might be able to go and finish this off. To get enough damage, Pilot Eye is probably going to deny him if he needs it. Can Raging Potato finish it? But still,
100%.
That was so worth.
Yeah. I thought Pi would have. It was really. Tiny should have just stepped closer to the tower.
Yeah.
Stay that far away.
Yeah, to stand close enough to the point where Bounty could actually finish you off.
Yeah. Oh, the TP!
TP. Wait, did Jakiro TP up there? No, he didn't TP up there earlier. I was like, did he kill Yaj? But no. So he's going to take over the lane for a little bit. This seems to happen a decent amount as you go for this build with the double null. If you pick up a kill, you do just, unless you're like pre-buying them ferried out, but you're so much these days. Ohio might be finished off by Nando. The creep's getting involved as well. Now going to try for the TP out. Knows that he can't escape DJ, and he is going to make it. Some very clutch TP plays from Execration across the board.
There are so many kills that Fnatic would have gotten. Ski teleport scrolls.
Would have gotten away with it too. The meddling TP scrolls. Oh, Raging Potato coming in behind here. What's gonna end up happening? Carl's tanking.
She might have had some new tricks.
Unimpressed with himself. Meanwhile, up top, Envy chasing after the Tide. And he's got boots. Now the Ice Path coming through. They've also got the Gush. They're doing decent damage. They need to be careful about the turnaround. Looks like Ursa should just be able to run enough. Liquid Fire, no.
Yeah, he's got the Tango running.
Turn around to kill the Tide. He would have died for sure. But Envy runs it off, and perfect timing for the Shrine. Raging Potato not quite able to get over there in time.
How's Rick's solo kill experience versus Abed's Tiny? So
I think everybody just got a bunch of levels bottom when they were. I have level 2, I die. You get level 2, you die. It just kind of went back and forth. But Fnatic are farming exceptionally well, and also, you look at Abed, and he's 27 and 11 on this Tiny versus the 12 and 4 Queen of Pain. This matchup just does not look that great, right? Sure, you can say that the Bane has been here being a nuisance, but Tiny seems to be coping extremely well.
I think he has a really bad matchup for the first 2-3 levels. Level 5 is where it really turns around, because you just out-regen, he actually adapting to it and picks up like infused raindrops or something to start blocking.
Yeah, like maybe you have to go bottle, maybe you have to buy some more salves. Try and tango his way through, but there was way too much damage. He's already slowed down by the Gush. That's going to be the last hit from Yaj. Envy going to start dead. Wants to kill on the Jakiro. There is going to be an Ice Path and a Dual Breath, slowing up Envy a little bit. Lumik still playing around his Tidehunter, knows that there's a Gush coming. The Thunderclap a little bit too low of a cooldown. And looks like maybe Tide also in a bit of trouble. Earth Shock, there you go. Along with the power, this is really nicely played by Fnatic. And one more auto attack's going to do it. Ooh, that was nice. Sorry, not Pilot.
Yeah. Also, very smart decision by, instead of going for the Tidehunter, who they got the initial engagement started with, they just went for the Jakiro. And had they not went for Jakiro itself.
Oh, Ohio gonna get swapped back into the lane, immediately switches directions. Was somewhat anticipating it, looks like. And he's gonna be asleep on Carl. He's just gonna get brain sap down. I don't even know if Abed did any damage there. Looks like Pila died.
I have not seen. Ironically, it's half the reason why teams are picking the Quap against it. I spoke to the mid game of Tiny versus Quap. At a certain point, you just don't die to the Sonic, and you just
kill
take
the
over
Quap
the game
anytime you want, right?
Exactly. So I just don't get it. Teams are constantly, and it has never worked. At least.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll start to see something else. What do you think's good? Maybe something that's still in that list with the harassment better, or can like put on more pressure, isn't as reliant on your mana pool.
Mystic Snake is such a hard thing to lane against as a melee hero, and then during the mid game you have Stone Gaze.
All right, they want to hire. They're going to swap him into the ice path, stacking their stuns a little bit. Nightmare helping to save, but he's going to be brought down. DJ continuing the pursuit here. Nando taking some damage, but he is still fairly tanky on this Venge. Get is going to finish that kill, and Raging Potato also brought down. Highlight die. He's got the Fiend's grip. Can he get a grip into it? The Brain Sap's cooling down. He's stealing the mana little by little. Lumix got the one. All right. Pie not checking the wand just before he went for that. So what? 2 for 2 at bottom. Cornus slightly favoring Fnatic in terms of gold. The experience. Oh. What are they going to do to Envy here? They do have a Ravage, but they need more damage, and that's where Nando comes in fact. Cautious of the Enrage, however, is quite slow. If Envy in the distance, he might actually just be pretty embarrassing. They could swap him as well. Raging Potato is going to slow him down. Alright, maybe swap into Ravage coming up. Stun. Now they've got the Ravage. He turns around, does a little bit. Highlight Eye coming through, but no. Nando still do get the sleep out onto a couple. Abed now coming through. Does have a big Avatos combo. Tied dead before he even hits the ground. And it will end up. We were at 10-10. 10 action all across the map. And they still want this Vengeful Spirit. He's still quite tanky, but Raging Potato, all he can really do is watch on as his Vengeful Spirit will get finished off. Oh, and Ohio tanks a Sonic Wave. Looks like, no, he's got his Dominator. He's got the regen. Regen for.
So what is his creep? Does he have a creep yet?
No, nothing at the moment. Raging Potato's got 6. Alright, I got track on a Wave usage does not result in a kill. Very important for co-op. They kill every single time Sonic Wave is off cooldown. So back to buying clarities and farming camps for him. Oh, DJ looks like he's actually pretty fast though. He's going for the stomp. No such luck. Just gets anchor smashed. Envy going for the Mask of Madness on the Ursa. A little bit of a army build. I do sometimes see people getting more points in Earthshock and kind of getting like a bottle Aquila farm and threaten, but I mean that's not really the point against the Tide, right? You just want the Fury Swipes maxed out.
Kill Dread and Dread against Roshan as well. If you ever see teams kind of like a bottom push, for example, then you just walk into Roshan and take it for free. But
pretty nicely for the Roshan, right? They're gonna have the main. He's even using his Dominator to steal Radiant Siege creeps.
Truck, surge at him, run at him.
And Lumix fairly tanky. There's the Macropie getting thrown. It's not really going to do anything. They do have the chain stun. Surge still on cooldown. He's going to throw the vacuum out. Ohio just wants not going to be the one to get the last hit. Still a nice track kill, but Ohio making the best of a bad situation. And like we were saying, that's space. Mid gets pushed. Envious rotation for them to bring down the Darkseer. What else is going on? DJ trying to a little bit more. Is just going to be going for Rod of Atos, which I quite like this game, but it relies on somebody else following up, right? And I don't know what. Okay, the Tiny is going to go for a blink, so they will at least have that combo. I want Envy again. Since the Enrage taking lots of damage off of that, sure, and they're not willing to invest their Ravage without some extra lockdown there. DD on the co-op. Lumic looking to get active. This really is a big part of the Execration lineup. Important that they're getting this. Does she even have the Veil? Looks like skipping Veil and just going straight Orchid.
I mean, is Orchid good this game? Like, and I guess
It silence is annoying for Ursa to deal with. Kind of. Okay. Because you can't enrage at that point, being able to enrage. You can get dusted up here, but they aren't able to get any catch on him. Down bottom, Nando just getting charged down by DJ and Ohio. Looks like they surged in a, or maybe not even surged, but if you surge the ET, does his spirit get faster as well? Is it? It's
movement speed. Although I'm not positive on that.
Come on,
they're
DJ.
set to. Maybe they're set to a certain movement speed.
Under attack.
Yeah.
All right. Raging Potato, nice little courier snipe. Get that little bit. He's actually #1 on net worth now after they've tier 1s. So Carl catching up, not so great laning stage. Nando not so lucky, just gonna get gripped up and brought down. Tide trying to arrive, but gets knocked straight into the stomp. In some trouble, also gonna get daggered. We'll do some damage up top. At the same time, Lumik looking like he's gonna be brought down by Abed and DJ. And yeah, both supports.
Ohio also pressuring bottom now, creep skipping and allowing his own creeps too.
And with the unholy aura as well, he had like regen for a second there, just absurd. He has gone for the 90 saber. I don't think we'll see it, but yeah, he's just being a nuisance. On side, Envy, even though he's getting pressured a little bit, is still just farming. He's gonna pick up his blink soon. They get a pick off or just make some space, get him the Roshan, and then that'll be a very strong timing for the Ursa. Not to mention the fact that the Tiny also has his blink.
Execration is the only thing that's kind of keeping Fnatic away from the Roshan. And it's almost better that they don't. Okay, once Ravage is down, there's no counterplay to the Roshan anymore.
Yeah, no go.
15 minutes in, you spend your first Ravage for a fight. Really responds by, okay, we lost the fight, let's go into Rosh because they don't have Ravage in. And this is especially true with the Ursa. So
yeah.
Their fight selection has to be on point. Yeah.
Yeah. They almost want to wait for Fnatic to. If they kill them, it just takes them longer to respawn, and it's a longer portion of the Ravage downtime. You're saying right now, you kind of have to. You'd have to win to be worth it.
Top.
Oh, yeah. Raging Potato is looking expended to find this kill. DJ gonna secure it with the stomp. Wants that little bit of extra money towards his Atos. Pick off gonna be enough. They're gonna go for the smoke. Envy gonna queue up the overpower. For this. Meanwhile, over on the bottom side of the map, that's the Orchid being unveiled. They will be able to cancel the stomp. Carl, sick of this, is going to throw out the Sonic Wave. And Envy very quickly take out Roche. Yeah. It feels like Execration, their timing has not worked out the way that they were. And Ursa is out of there. Pi with the TP.
Timing is. I mean, this lineup is so weird. I think about timing. It's more about the way of DJ trying to escape, and looks like he is going to get brought down. This is what they need to be conscious of, 2 carries or 2 cores, and what you're supposed to be doing is running into the jungle constantly with Raging Potato and fight.
Shared Tango dropped on the ground. What's going on over here? Fairly tanky, can't get the Nightmare off. No, there's the sleep. They do have Tidehunter coming across. T, who looks like he might now be able to finish off Pi. That's going to be a nice track kill. He's also going to get scouted in a second but he's standing right on top of his shrine, gets the avalanche off, and actually able to just blink himself out. Cancel there. Envy tracked. They're stealing some aim here. And Envy comfortable jumping in. He does have the Aegis in reserve, so he's just going to go onto the Tide, vacuum back into the wall, slowing them down a little bit more. Nando still have the Ravage, but he just gets chewed up by the enraged right click. And now they've got the Earth Splitter flying through. Looks like they will end up losing. Envy's first Potato won't be able to do it. Lumik does not have an Ice Path, so it just has to be the Dual Breath. Back into the Orchid, but he rejoins his team, getting Nightmared up. Lumik's now in big trouble. Managed to blink away. Nando might not be quite so lucky, getting spotted by the... Goes straight into the Fiend's grip, finishes him off, and Fnatic... sticking around a little bit too long in this fight. I guess feeling confident because they had the Ravage up their sleeve.
Well,
but
Tide died in the fight. Just get out. Without Ravage, you are not winning the fight. And even with the Ravage, like Aegis is also a thing. So
really, root over onto the Quap. Looks like it might actually be the Elder Titan who's in some trouble. Not running back towards the team. Sleep onto Raging Potato. Stomp's gonna finish him. Now the Ravage coming through. Healing up a lot. Trying to kite back over towards the Ursa. Should be able to finish her off. Silence is there. He's still tanking a bit with the Enrage. He's standing in between the Ice Path, in between them. Of his Mask of Madness. Can he finish this kill? But at the same time, they do end up losing Raging Potato. Yaj, no TP, just rejoins the team. Abed blinking across. They do have Nando rejoining the fight soon, but he's not really choosing to engage. The thing to me about that fight in the river is that they were clearly trying to bait for that fight to happen. Right? The Venge still had Force Staff and Swap before he got the Ravage off. They had ways to save him, but I guess the damage from the Ursa was just a little bit unexpected. You saw him lift his arms and no Ravage.
The Ursa ultimate double All of a sudden, it went from not too much to a ton.
And Avatos combo straight into a feed. And get another kill. Unstoppable streak for him. Pressure on. Keep Execration afraid. And they've done such a good job of dragging Execration non-stop. Get the root over onto the Queen of Pain. Straight into the sleep. Straight into the Earth Splitter. Envy picking that kill up. When it feels like Execration are just getting torn apart. They're not even that far behind in terms of net worth. But that Fnatic are picking up. Just seeing what Execration are grabbing. Like Venge almost has a Hurricane Pike. But what's that really going to accomplish if you're just running away all the time? Okay, they've got, that's the other thing, they've got good vision over anything there at all. They've been taking the fights on, the last two fights have been on their terms over in the Radiant jungle. Raging Potato actually queuing up enough. I'm not sure if that's the item. I mean, I guess it's more with. A little bit surprised to see no Solar Crest on the. Would give them some more Roshan potential, helpful against the, even more damage potentially against the Tiny. But we're just in farm stations right now. Carl's trying to finish up a BKB. BKB operation very much deciding that, alright, we're available is double BKB. And at that point, after that, I don't know what else they can do. They have to keep taking fights and they have to keep making the track do something, right? Yeah, the bounty hunter is just going to fall off the face of the earth and not. I do want Nando. Nando actually wants some action here. Going to try for jumping in with the BKB active. Nando force staffing himself away, also able to swap in. Force staffs to help kite the Ursa. It's working out beautifully. The Rod of Atos is not enough to provide the catch. So with a BKB popped, Fnatic going to have to head back to the drawing. Do have a Ravage ready to rock.
Pretty bad sign for Fnatic that they lost that fight, and they didn't even bait out the Ravage. Just this is a problem that, and the Mother has 4 staffs. And it's really, really hard.
Execration lineup.
Yeah.
All right, they're moving forward. They're standing on top of the shrine. They're going to force staff in, get the Ravage out onto 3. Actually catching 4 just on the edge. Ice Path follow up, but there's the vacuum into the wall. Sonic Wave coming through. Ohio's gone. They aren't able to get that. Finally throwing out the grip, but he's just getting right-clicked to death. Looks like it will be yet another track kill. Lumic did lose his life in the midst of this secretion. Abed gets the toss up into the air, blinks underneath the Quap. DJ needs way through the trees, but does get stunned up by the Vengeful Spirit. The magic missile should be enough. Triple kill for Carl. Nando tanky enough to survive those tower shots. And such a nice initiation. Flashy, just a force staff into the Ravage right as they were coming up this hill. I would guess that Fnatic wanted to come and hold this high ground because they were expecting that there was going to be just a little bit too late. If they pop the shrine, I think it's a very different fight, but perfect.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Back in control. Advantage. Queen of Pain going to be queuing up a Shiva. Are there items that you're looking for in terms of dealing with this kiting problem? Maybe hold that thought.
Ooh, yeah, bounty.
Envy's in the pit, getting scouted, getting tracked. Does have the enrage. Much either. Gonna throw out a bash there. And they are gonna be able to jump in. They burst down the bounty hunter. Oh, actually, not just he's not dead. Just okay. Finally finished off. They sleep up the tide. Macropyre splitting up the fight a little bit. Another sleep window into the grip. That immediately gets cancelled. Good positioning from Carl, but maybe this is a little bit. Do it. He pops everything, but they do manage to finish off the seconds to go on the Ravage, and Abed still moving around, finding these Avatos combos. Rage nice force staff play gets him up onto the high ground, but now they've got the root over onto the Jakiro. Is the force staff going to be enough to save Lubick? And be chasing forward. I don't think the track move speed is going to be enough to get Nando out of here. He's desperate for a swap. He heads a little into the rest of the Fnatic lineup. Abed and that fight. He forced the fight by getting the toss back on the Venge. That too deep to get off the Orchid, and from there everything just completely fell apart.
In the game that there's 4 force staffs, every slice, able to actually pick off a hero or 2. And now the second
and the cheese on the somebody else. Maybe Abed takes the cheese. Seems pretty value. What's Ohio got? Has just picked up a Crimson. Becoming tankier and tankier. He's got Guardian Greaves queued up after that. The damage on Execute limited past a certain point, right? that doesn't kill anybody right off the bat. It all comes down to whether or not the Queen of Pain and the Venge can actually just stand there and auto attack the Fnatic lineup.
Yeah, because if you stand around like that, and that's generally the problem between quality in the mid game, just does not care about your nukes.
And I really like the way that Abed's been playing. I've seen him multiple times just standing there, waiting for cooldowns in like a safe spot in fog, goes in, drops a combo. You know, I think realizing that if he tries to sit there and auto attack, he is going to fall to the same fate as the Ursa, which is so. It's just kind of using Envy to enable his positioning. They're going on to get off the Ravage, but it's just a defensive one. Abed now jumping in once again with the Avatos combo, pushing in bottom. Execration completely asleep at the wheel. No Ravage available, and I think this might just be a Macro Pirate. Clears the wave for a little bit. But what can they do at this point? Another Avatos combo. Abed throwing back out of there. Tiny in a little bit of danger. But he gets swapped back in by his teammate. Oh no, Nando. She's dead for 70 seconds. The tier 3 taking damage. They do have the backdoor protection enabled once again, but Abed is going crazy with the tossbacks. 4 stabs to get him out of there. That's going to be enough, but it's all left to the twos of this game, and they just cannot do it. What is going on? Everybody's spamming diving fountain.
And oh, jeez. Okay.
All right. Well,
I think so. I mean, they can't push for more because they're still tier 1 and tier 2. So, and sure, you may say that okay, that was an Aegis and Cheese push. So now without Aegis and Cheese, they can't go high ground again. And to an extent, there's no hurry for them to. They could just wait for the next rush.
Yeah, or they could Clop respawning soon. Still a little bit to the Ravage. They're just moving tight around, vacuuming him back. Envy still wants this kill, maybe diving a little bit too far. Does have his BKB, turns back around, looks towards Nan. Will be able to swap himself back onto Lumic. Envy, BKB just have the enrage. Sonic Wave's gonna finish him off. Highlight Eye unable to make anything happen with a Nightmare save. Just turns. They're not done. They continue pursuit. DJ still tracked up. Case of a further chase. It does actually drag Carl back in, and Abed happy to slap him down too far forward. Raging Potato for staffing himself up. They still want this DJ kill. Re-engaging, but maybe KB. It's a full 10-second one ready to go. It's just tied in the Bounty Hunter. They will now get a little bit of a re-engage out of the Vengeful Ohio. Fairly tanky. They're going to focus on this. He's still surviving the vacuum into the wall. They're getting some bonus damage. Abed just laying through with the right clicks. Doesn't have to play hit and run tactics this time around. But they don't actually get any further kills. Right top of his wall. It's 4v1. The illusion's helping him out. Some track kills for Execration. They've just been marching up this mid lane, and are they where are they about to head? Are they gonna try and go high ground? I guess they don't want to get tossed into tier 4. Just gonna take this as a chance to get some wards down and reset.
I know you're asking me about Execration's timing earlier.
Yep.
And a good time in the game where it's like, okay, this is like level or minute 10 or 12, where generally you make the first big rotation as a team and you start snowballing. I think that's really the point where you go do it. And I think unfortunately for them, they just never really connected with those moves. I recall you were saying that Quap just had the Sonic Wave for a long time before she used her first one. Mid lane very heavily, so she wasn't able to get a lot of things that needed to go right for this lineup to work. Did not go.
They completely crushed the mid lane the way that they were hoping to. Things could have gone very differently, but that's where I think the play from DJ and Ohio was exactly the right decision. Like you felt like they were overextending a little bit, or maybe fighting too much, but the one thing that they were definitely doing lane, right?
That's true.
The Bounty felt like he had to go and play bottom because he felt like he had to help the Venge plus Jakiro, and that let Tiny get to that, start just spamming out with the toss and start turning the lane around a little bit. Alright, Fnatic gonna regroup, continue pushing out top. That's gonna be the answer for Envy in terms of all the 4-staff kiting. He is moving pretty quickly. It's not the most standard item, very standard item for the patch, so Envy is just looking towards. It's not necessarily going to help you when the other heroes have 4-staff, right? There's always going to be somebody ready to save. Alright, what's going on? Raging Potato trying to snipe a courier. Got it now. So
interesting.
We'll see if that ends up being a little bit at the moment as well. I think that this is mostly for the Ursa kiting, right?
I don't think I've ever seen this before. Yeah.
Do you think it's
E-blade.
Do you think it's better?
Wait, what is he trying to use this for? Like,
I think
helping your allies?
I think partially
Versus Ursa?
helping your I think it's partially helping your ally somebody kind of quickly with the the macro pyre, but I don't think that's what you're buying.
Dire's courier.
Oh, nice the courier snipe. Steps up on the high ground and he is out of there. Raging Potato not going to risk any. Yeah, to answer your question, I feel like it is just to deal with the Ursa bursting people down.
Oh, that's gonna get harder now with the Basher SM1 when he has so much movement speed. Even with one again, you need like multiple force staff in the same target to save the guy.
Looks like Fnatic just waiting for Roche, I suppose. What's Tide got? He's picked up Ohio. Yep, he's grabbed some. Oh, they are going to be able to jump in. Tracked up. Fnatic able to regroup nicely. Earthsplit are not going to really be doing anything, as they will just ground. The thing that they have Roshan standoff is that bottom lane is always going to be pushing in. So ground here and then make it up later once some bottom. Execration realizing that are going to shove mid and top literally as hard as they can. Alright, Quap's got a Shiva's. Going for a Lincoln's after that. It's like mostly just the Bane spells, right, that you're blocking. Oh, Quap coming in, the Ravage counter initiation. They've got the Ice Path as well. BKB's gonna get popped in a second. Looks like Nando should get chewed down. No, they've got the force stab. This kill, they will be able to. Highlight Eye just getting right clicked down by Carl. Sonic Wave's already been used. Able to E-blade himself up. Lumix still going hard with these Ice Paths. Abba jumping in once again with an Avatos combo, but Carl's tank re-engage into this fight. Tiny now silenced. Wants to finish this kill on Carl. Knows that he's probably not getting out of here alive. Carl picking up the double kill. Ooh, that little bit of extra survivability. Just the ultimate orb coming in. Envy for some reason just can't stop all chatting the Roshan timer at critical.
Yeah, I don't know. But that was a very Ursa was able to pop his enrage, so he didn't really take too much damage, but just ate it full.
Yeah, I mean, Tiny could not get the BKB off in time. They happened to have the Tidehunter right there. Alright, Carl's hungry for some buybacks. He's hitting the tier 3. Ball to the Darkseer and the Elder Titan just to spam things out. Keep the high ground up, but this is number 3.
Yes, it is.
This is Refresher Shard. This is double. He's rubbing his hands together. He's like, gimme, 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 gimme. Very hard to play against.
Oh man. Back to, less than 1k net worth lead.
Yep. We may have too soon. Maybe. This game was just done, but Carl has been putting in a very impressive performance, I think, on his Quap. Really finding just those fringe situations to pick somebody off and then just barely survive once they try and go on. At this point, they hunker down, right? But
Hunker the late game, because Ursa just does not scale. Tiny will scale, but force staffs are gonna kite them for days. They have to wait. I just don't know what they're not fighting against the Asias.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see that much more scaling in the lineup. I mean, Sarah's going to be going for Shiva's early once she gets level 25, but it's going to become even more difficult, right? I feel like times that Quap has died, it's mostly been blinking in a little bit too far and then getting gripped. And once the grip is off the table, it's going to be much more difficult to deal with her. Just going to queue up a Mjolnir for some right click. Definitely nice. Also really good, of course. Not as crazy as the previous incarnation of the spell lifesteal. Especially when you've got the Shivas as well. It's kind of on-demand healing. As Ursa, trying to force them back, but does need to still be careful. And looks like tier 3 tower of the game. Can't even really jump them outside of the base, right? Because the double Ravage is the thing in this situation.
Well, it depends on if you're able to pop your BKBs. If you get double Ravage, really bad. Howling was pressuring as well.
Yeah, they don't get a tier 3 of their own, so nicely done by Fnatic to find that opportunity to get top and mid pushed out all the way and just buy more time. Yeah. Hugely impactful. I guess it is still helpful. You can maybe get a suicidal swap off, right? And drag somebody Ravage, and then you can pop back up and keep on. Not too bad. Also going for a butterfly. The Venge feels like she wasn't really hitting all that hard minutes ago, but now with the getting close to this B-fly, I think Nano's actually going to be pretty scary in these fights.
And the BKB, it just... What do you do against her? Look at how hard she's hitting. And she...
Yeah. Venge's stat growth is actually so good. Like, 0.3 agi is pretty crazy. You don't normally see it because she's normally a support and quite a low level. Actually looking fairly tanky in this situation. Like, you look at Tiny, he's got 29, 25, 60. So, looking back range talent on the Jakiro, so if things get completely desperate, they can fall back on that, though. Sieging looking like it might not be so viable as Fnatic just continue to... They're going to have to find some pickoffs, I think, first. Do you think that's another win condition for Fnatic here? Can they completely rat this game out? They don't high ground split pushing heroes.
For some like level 25 talents and not really seeing it.
Wipes affects buildings. That's what we need.
That's exactly buildings. I wonder what he ticks here. Sphericalized damage or the AoE aftershock, Earthshock.
I would guess the Fury Swipes damage just based on the fact that he doesn't have like any mana regen in the build or at all. Or a Hex. Maybe you get the huge. It's like a whole screen. That I feel like they didn't even adjust, so it just looks ridiculous. But I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain it all that much. It's that useful. Clop. She wants it. Probably wants to maybe hang on to buyback at the same time. When's AJ gone? Alright. Hex on the bounty. I don't know where Raging Potato is finding all of this farm, but up the storm. Queuing up a Dagon next. Fnatic still kind of twiddling their thumbs along. I mean, that might help out with the lockdowns. She's actually not gone for the spell block at 25, interestingly enough. It has gone for the Scream of Pain 1.5 second fear, which I think is useful. It's like kind of a stun, but I do normally see the spell block. I guess still trying to deal with the split push. I feel like they need some like... Never mind. I said that, and they already had it set up. I'm just going to try for the BKB TP out. The opening that Execration we're looking for. Very smart play. Was in just the right position. He does have a buyback, but should be able to force it.
Is this a trick? Lose the game? Twice it has happened.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if it's overdue. Not looking great. The tied double Ravage has been the difference between feeling like they can take a team fight at all and just having to avoid everything. There's a double damage on the Bounty Hunter. They do have a glyph, but Carl is straight up on the very least. They might back off if the buyback happens just to go and take the shrines, but Envy, it is an exposed lane of Rax over top. They're going to swap in the Dark Tier straight into the Hex. Possible second Ravage, not even going to be back from the Elder Titan. They're just going straight for the tier 4s.
Oh my
Envy,
god.
What he's not, he's actually just focusing on the Rax. Who can they defend with? They do have the 3 heroes alive versus 5, and they've got the secondary Ravage. They're just going straight for the Ancient Ravage coming out. Ephod can't do anything. He pops his BKB, but Execration going straight for the jump, but she's still got a cheese. She's still got her butterfly. He gets right-click down. Carl is going straight through the Ancient, and the GG gets called at the last moment. Excellent decision-making at the end there. They set up the ward. They knew they needed the pick-off. They set up the ward. They got the base, and on the Ohio Darks here was so nice.
Yeah, they made some like very good mechanical plays, but I think the big thing for me this game was maneuver themselves into getting the third Roche, because we saw Fnatic was able to convert first 2 Roche. They were even up a Rax, right? So
yeah,
somehow giving away the third Roche was what ultimately cost them the game. Because if that Aegis should be in a position of instead of we just got played.
Yeah, it was. I really thought that once they got that bottling Rex, that was it. But of the on the list of mechanical plays. I think the force staff play from Execration this game was so nice. It kept them in a lot of those fights to the mid game on the Ursa, and I'm not quite sure if the Ursa pick worked out the way that Fnatic were.
Yeah, and it's not just the Ursa pick. I think going back to they won the game. If the Timber pick felt pretty lackluster. Final picks for Fnatic, I feel like they're maybe the box. Maybe just better just stick to their standard, tried and true, the E Weaver or PL or something like that.
Could be something to look out for. And I mean, this is not a time to be experimenting either, right? These qualifiers are very important. There's a major spot on the line, so they're definitely is best, but I guess just still needs maybe a little bit more refinement from their regular play style. But yeah, these are not the most meta last picks that they're going for. So clearly maybe there's a disconnect between what they expect the hero is going to be able to do. With Execration winning game 2, that does mean we're going to be going the distance in this best. If you don't have anything else to add for this game, Lumi, we're going to jump to a short break and head into game number 3.
Let's take a break.
All right, see you guys soon.
Shadow it is, thought could exist. You move through the room like breathing was even believed me. They would be as in love. They would be as in love with you as I am. They would be as in love with you as would be in love, love, love. Learning about you, the things that no one else sees, and comes too soon, like dreaming of angels. And leaving without them. And leaving without them. Being as in love with you as being as in love with you as I am. Being as I am. Being as in love, 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 love. And with words unspoken, a silent devotion, I know you know what I'm. And the end isn't being as in love with you as I am. Being as in love with you as I am. As in love with you as I am. Love, love, love. Gave you a minute when you needed it, now to push it aside instead of leave it behind you. If any word that I said, get I'd have given you them all, but it was all in your head. Now we're burning all the bridges now. What's it build it up again? Just now, 'cause it was sink or swim and I went down, down, down. We're burning all the bridges, burning all the bridges now. And we're burning all the bridges, burning all the bridges now. Would you still say you needed me? Guess I made it too easy. Funny word that you said. But I get up off the floor, 'cause this is all in my head. And we're burning all the bridges, go up in flames, no way to build it up again. Burning all the bridges now. Burning all the bridges. Burning all the bridges now. Can we forget about it? Forget. Can we forget about it? Can we forget? Burning all the bridges now. And we're burning all the bridges. Burning all the bridges now. I've been thinking about it on night and morning. Oh,
Ban.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Bucharest Major 2018 SEA Qual versus Fnatic. So as you know, it's 1-1, and we are straight into the draft. Is Lumi? Lumi, any adjustments you want to see from either team?
We talked about Fnatic's final picks, so I felt like I think you said maybe say they're just straight up experimenting because they picks, but maybe going back for comfort, better idea, working out a little bit better for them. We'll see.
5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely an option. So overall pick this game, Radiant. So we'll see how that ends up panning out. Execration do have the last pick. I feel like I've seen Carl struggle against them. So I am hoping that they're going to be giving him just a favorable matchup. Make sure that they give him the appropriate amount of help. And we'll see what else happens beyond that. The Tiny's can back to it. The Doom might make it through if Execration don't ban it. So take it away from them because they have not opted to ban it this game.
5.
But they did also have the, they pulled out the Wraith King against the early Doom pick. And the Doom is just something that they're willing to let Execration have, and they feel like they have answers up their sleeve.
So I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what this first pick
Execration's turn to pick.
All right, it's just the Shadow Shaman. I think it's solid. We've seen DJ have some very good performances on it. It also lets you. It feels to me like aren't otherwise possible because it means that your mid and your safe lane can both be, and you still have the ability to take pretty much every objective on the map. Execration gonna pick up a Doom and a Nyx. I'm somewhat about whether or not they just get 5-manned. These two heroes are not that amazing against 5-man lineups, especially ones that aren't that cooldown dependent. Though, I mean, they've already got the Shadow. At the very least, playing around that cooldown. But the 5-man aspect, I think, is still scary.
Let's see if we're gonna see that together almost all the time. Might be a little bit rough, you know. Your spells are very pronounced, so it would be very easy for a Nyx to. But an early Terrorblade, so that might be a very decent Doom counter. Doom has very low armor. Yeah, if you get Doom, you're in trouble. But if you could play around the Doom, once you use your Manta Style and stuff like that, he may Doom you, but you're probably going to kill a lot of people before you get taken down yourself.
Position in the game and vision and whether or not you get your spells off, like you're saying. Once you use your Sunder, of course, but still. It doesn't necessarily play 100% into the 5-man aspect, but the 100% a comfort pick. No doubt about that. Clearly what he's doing on Terrorblade. So no Ursa, no Wraith King. Though I think the Wraith King was also reasonably comfortable. It's just not something that you compared to a hero like TB. Okay, so maybe I was going to mention players work out, but I was going to mention StarLadder for Fnatic, maybe being a possibility. A little bit greedy to have StarLadder and Shaman because they are both kind of 4s when it comes to the farm priority. They could potentially make it like a less greedy offlaner, but I feel like that isn't necessarily his style either to worry about. They do have to lay the groundwork for this Terrorblade though, banning out the Tinker. I mean, are you a Zeus versus TB?
But apparently nobody else loves Zeus, so
no,
feels bad.
Yeah, I'm right. It's sad. All right, we're gonna see the Jakiro again. Also not terrible against the annoying. The AOE is good. Gives them some more building damage, which they don't really have just yet.
5 seconds.
I guess like before they do that, but we'll see what they're gonna opt for. Here, right. Oh no! Alright, there you go. They are just gonna play the StarLadder. Do you think it's still gonna be DJ Shaman and then Pi StarLadder, or Pi Shaman and?
I think Shaman is more easily played as a 5 than a StarLadder. They're both good with farm, but so.
I'm inclined to agree. Yeah.
So gonna make the guess on that one.
Okay, they need something that doesn't get completely annihilated by just get necessarily is here. At least for the safe lane. I can think of mid picks, but I don't know. Is Sniper a thing? They're just gonna go for their Razor. They do like this hero a lot, but this game, I guess we'll have to see. It is a little bit annoying since the unstable current can purge off your sprint, so you can't always blink, crush, amp, and then run away. But this Razor to me seems a little bit weird. I think it's just hard to get up in Terrorblade's face. One of these melee heroes that's super susceptible to Razor, and he can quite easily buy a Pike.
Yeah. Also, I want to say that it's. I mean, Razor, he takes a long time to get his link thing going. You could just kind of kill him before he even finishes or get off a really strong link. So,
and they get even more burst damage going now, as they will pick up the. I mean, it could still be an offlane StarLadder as well. I guess that's the one possibility that we haven't. The way that Fnatic could choose to structure their lineup. I don't know what kind of gotcha pick there would be in your position 4, but it is an option. But no, it looks like they're looking for the Ohio hero. Going to ban out another one of his staples in this master game. I think there's no real counter initiation on Execration. Well, there's some counter initiation, but there's no save. So whoever gets gone at that point.
5 seconds remaining.
I like the Shadow Fiend pick. I think the burst damage is going to be. I would guess that he just goes for the. Actually, I'm not sure. I was about to say I would guess that he just goes for the right-click build. I feel we talked about this yesterday as well, but I agree with you. It's just more stable I think when you've got the amplified damage as well, it's just kind of a may as well just play right click.
No, because your rest of your team is already spirit of like, okay, well, let's diversify our damage a little bit. So I could see the argument of going. It's just that I have not how safe it is. It doesn't matter if you do very well with the magic build finishing line. With that said, though, there's so much minus armor that the physical build just.
I'm trying to think here of what we're going to be seeing from. It doesn't seem that impressive. I mean, there is potential with the StarLadder. That is a 1-2 punch that they could look for, but playing Darkseer against the Nyx Assassin is never fun. So I guess Fnatic are probably thinking if there's some other interesting way to do things here. Maybe they're considering putting the StarLadder as that 3 position. Alright, I like this a lot actually. Centaur versus Doom.
Oh yeah, it's quite good. If you look at the lineup for Execration, they actually just have a Spike Carapace. Yeah. So the ultimate is going to be pretty much.
Yeah, really.
5 seconds remaining.
It's also just super nice for disengaging once somebody gets value add that you have as Centaur against Doom. You can just reset the fight kind of at any time that you Execration. I don't know how they solve that problem. I also don't know quite how they did they pick like a puck? Nope. Okay.
Oh, that's how OD. So this is an off lane Nyx. The Yaj said I had enough with the Doom. Like he's been dying.
I mean, I guess what you can see. I don't know if you can walk up and I'm about to say something about walking up and imprisoning the Shadow Fiend, but I just don't know if that's a thing, right?
Yeah. We thought it was a thing yesterday when we saw this matchup, and then in actuality, they even get close enough.
As soon as you think about it, you just get raised. It's about moving towards him.
10 seconds.
About this Execration lineup.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like they are a little bit. I think the front line is quite lacking. I think that's always a problem when you have Nyx Assassin, especially if Nyx Assassin's going to be your offlaner. He sit on the front lines and tank some spells, and be that sort of standard position 3.
Yep.
Like the Centaur, quite easily this game. He can sit up in front. He can get so the StarLadder can get a good jump.
Razor could kind of fill in the shoes a little bit.
He's
kind
gonna
of the front
have to
line
be
here.
Mega tank.
I mean, most Razor build tanky anyways.
Yeah.
Get the pike, get the drums, treads instead of phase, that kind of stuff. I'm more surprised, or not surprised, but surprised is the word for it, that we have Pylai die on the StarLadder and DJ on the Shaman.
Prepare for
but the Fnatic, both also to a certain extent the Centaur, they could jungle pretty efficiently. So it's not going to be surprising that StarLadder most likely will get a kind of lane to. I hope he does get the room and space to farm for a blink, because blinkless StarLadder for the whole game is actually useless. He's good for getting the Rosh.
You can amp Rosh, yeah, that's. But I can definitely see a situation where they, Pi and Ohio play together a little bit at bottom of the jungle, maybe even to farm, and then Pi resumes soaking and maybe even doing some of these cheeky offlane pulls to farm. Could definitely happen. They are being that was plopped down, so Execration are going to be able to push up onto the runes of their own, and be going to cop the first Infernal Blade. Value, baby. That's.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Doom's got mana regen as well, so it's not a. Looks like this is what Raging Potatoes gains and throw Infernal Blades.
We'll see his game plan is to Infernal Blade till he hits 2, and then start devouring. Oh,
meta use DJ trying to close the gap.
Oh my god, that's such a big value of what he did there. He took 2 hits. Here. Oh no!
Raging Potato.
He doesn't even have a tango.
Oh. Finish him, DJ. Just don't know. All right, Envy's gonna. Oh, this creep. This is the MVP for Fnatic just then.
I mean, Raging Potato, especially back in the days where he played like off lane or the most PogChamp play, and then the dumb plays. He was the SEA Jackie Mao. Just I don't know.
In Dota, but I mean, he's also played in they've both played in SEA, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Betray Jimmy.
No, that's true. He's actually one with the trees. Alright, the zoning on mid is kind of working. I mean, to the extent that Abed has 0 CS, so that's yeah. He's actually not able to just get the last hits against the OD, who's already got 2 nulls picked up. Pi coming in to try and help. Is getting drained up. He's got boots, so he's just gonna take his journey to go and pick up a bounty rune. Abed rush comes out. Is he gonna bother dropping? He's gonna lay down some auto attacks. Wants to conserve the mana as alright. Himself the arcane, and he actually got really lucky. He got the Satyr.
Oh, these 2 supports. Pi's gotta be careful. No, the shockwave won't kill. It's the one with base mana.
Alright, and yeah, he knows the Pi's bigger fish to fry. The shockwave doing decent amount of damage. Popping another salve.
By the way, this is a kill, right? Infernal Blade.
Oh, or maybe it's a kill the other way. Oh no, Abed gets max souls in one. Oh no.
Facepalm, super fast.
And alright, now Abed's. Look at this, he's crushing the. Fortunately, Abed does not have a mango or anything, so it won't be able to.
The CS differential is 16. Shadow Fiend has 5.
For how long, dude?
Raging Potato's coming back in.
Carl's got the point in the orb. He's just hoping for some lucky pilot. I can take a bit more damage. But Abed doesn't have to. Show me your procs, Carl. Show me your luck. He wants to make sure that he has enough mana to spam some. He actually knows about that. Over towards mid, and Ohio going to be the one to snag the regen. Carl, I mean, cancels it, but he already got the full. No, Ohio also here. Who's going to stun? Stun number 2. Right click it. Finishing him off.
That was a very, very optimistic TP out. Oh man.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, that actually was. That's the big thing.
Yep. Beans to get the catch right back up. Uh-oh. And Pi got that last hit, so he's actually going to get some gold now. They are letting the Nyx Assassin have a decent amount of... Well, I say a decent... He's been soloing against Envy for like the last... And it just doesn't matter at all. The Razer wrapping around for another gank. Actually, they've got the Doom running around the corner, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. They've got the Banish. Carl going to get raised here, I would believe. Chase him down with DJ. Yeah. Double Raise going to come through. There we go. Nice kill. And now even Ohio getting involved. Can they get Abed is more than caught up. Wait, Abed, you're just standing still? Is this a...
He was shopping.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sometimes you see a good deal on that.
On it. Those flash sales.
Alright. Shrine time. 4 for 5th South. That Abed has got.
It's worth.
Oh man.
Envy. That's such an eternal. that's a real Jackie Mao. All right, just trades a bunch of hits, gets pretty low, forces out all of the offlaners.
It's a true min-maxer.
Yeah, he really is. It's cool to watch. I think a little bit. Nyx Assassin does almost. I don't know where exactly he's going to be able to lock their lanes down. So I guess we'll have to see to find some decent levels. Kills. The Razor's getting farmed. No clear indicator, but Abed is already over in the jungle, and he is clearing.
So one thing that I really want to touch, Creation's draft doesn't really have too nuke, right? It's just Sanity's Eclipse.
And that takes time.
Yeah. So if the Doom doesn't go on Terrorblade, Terrorblade feels very too low HP to get off a very... I feel like that's always priority number 1, is just to get off the good Doom. It's going to get pretty brutal as it drags on.
Oh man. Execration trying to fight fire with fire in terms of the answers. The 2 supports have basically spent all of their time in the last 4 minutes or so camping mid. Tier 1 tower down at bottom, so the Razor getting Nyx Assassin Vendetta gank. Is this going to work out is the question. Abed's just retreating all the way back. And
taking a little dive here again. Nando, not only has he taken the tier 1 tower, look at his level 5 on Ohio.
Pushing the full advantage. And find a little bit interesting. The HP regen. Do you think
I think given how Midas is not a very standard build for Razor, part that you can't afford to take the next 5 minutes off.
This is that first stun into the follow-up, but now Ohio just gonna pop the Stampede.
Ups, dude. Saving lives.
Yep, 100%. Camps, working on his drum, but definitely they're gonna use the right click very. He can wait around for the tome. The StarLadder, given that Pi is only level 4. Big smoke rotation, making it and Raging Potato, well, they just didn't quite get deep. Yeah, and yeah, looking like he might be quite dead. Unless there's a TP initiation from Execration is not great. Oh, Courier also coming through. Arriving just a little bit too late to really do anything. He will be able to help hold on to this tower. I don't think they're gonna...
Notice how that
they
they like we gotta place lane. It's not creeps.
Yeah, he wanted the tower. Ohio got linked. I don't know if he's gonna run this one.
What is he? Where is he going?
Alright, there's that hood up on Nin. Be getting involved. See, the problem again for his team is setup. They have a little bit more lockdown from the Doom now that he has the ensnare, but get the first stun off, which is not going to be easy. Interesting build on the OD that much, but Carl also kind of in the Razor and the OD, so I guess maybe...
Yeah.
Try and go in and get established.
Sure, but once the Mass Serpent War gets dropped...
Yeah, definitely. Oh, alright, Nando's got a double damage. Die if he can get him, but again, lockdown is the problem. And like we were talking about, they've jammed the Centaur in the jungle and given Pilot a deny. Ooh, Pine. So Razor's big, but the question is, they now have to show one. He's taking the tier 2. He's had what he can, and now he just needs to
go for it.
Yeah.
Just I don't know what that hood is at. It looks like Shadow Fiend's going for some sort of magic build. Has a blink down.
He probably wants BOTs.
So that the hood is gonna be.
Dire's top tower attack.
That was he just got a drum. Yeah, he is leading the charge towards top. They are able to push into this. And Fnatic also behind the tower. But as I say that,
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Abed might get caught, but he's actually just running further in as they've actually managed to catch the OD with the shackle. Can he make it into the tree line? He won't be able to. Doom onto the Shadow net. That's a 3-for-1 to the left. Very nice backstab from Execration. And the
StarLadder died to neutral.
Didn't catch
That's
that.
not too bad for a pie, but and that's probably exactly what they'll do.
They've got the maxed out Liquid Fire. This is a little bit I thought we would be seeing from that. You know, just getting some early levels and then kind of running in at this time, and they're actually really leveraging the there's already 4 towers taken.
I mean, given that this is a Fnatic game, likely it will drag into
Loses the first line of racks, right? That's okay. So over to Tranquil's lens later on, farming at this point. Ohio is a couple hundred gold away from his blink tag for the team. Lineup really starts to kick in for Fnatic, right? Blink. Okay. Pie's coming over. Lockdown problems. Has an illusion rune, but no meta. So, oh, Lumic. Yeah, I mean, they have the reflection. Yeah, he's gonna get raised into oblivion. Oh,
Uh-oh.
somebody hit him. Lumic's in deep.
Alright, okay.
Alright, I bet doesn't need to land. But now he's stunned.
And then he dies.
Yeah, now
because
he's
he's in the trees.
Blinked up here and then raised down, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or blink up there.
Nothing. Oh. This is not nearly tanky enough. That's the Blink Dagger being unveiled from the Centaur as well. But I think he may have used a pretty big kill to be giving away at this stage of the game. Though the same can be said for that Shadow Fiend death. So just putting across the map. SF going to be going for a BKB. Magic build. It's not real. Have a little bit of everything. Oh, they found Envy, stunning him up, and they're not going to give him the upper. Sanity's Eclipse going to pop him. Damage on the Doom. In his piggy bank, but he's... Poor guy. Shaman. Once again, it might not be bad. We're looking for the turnaround. Couple more right clicks. Ohio, right place, right time. Bad double kill.
Dude, that was some Dendi because he used to be the one that always and just make plays like that. Lines and blinks immediately. Surprise.
Yeah, that earlier whiffs on the Jakiro. We'll give him a clean slate for that.
Man, you're a harsh grader, dude.
Even more impactful than the.
Sure.
Ohio, after making some very nice plays of his own between the top, does get picked off by the Nyx assassin. I like the Midas on Nyx quite a lot. You sometimes see people go like the Midas, but he's still being I don't want to say that his game is secure and still just fall off when the game gets later. Pretty tough for you to play later on compared to Centaur, right? Or StarLadder. Who... Okay, we got a Pike on the OD. That's nice for him. That we've already seen has been doing quite a bit of work. He has the speed aura, so they're also just going to be building up an S and Y. So trying to solve some of these catch problems.
Which is kind of the thing that we mentioned. Who's going to sit in the front line here?
Yeah, and the thing that they're not lacking for this game is damage. So, but gotta make sure that they have sentries down all lane. They got double invis, stun out onto. Also, just around the corner, gonna imprisoned. That last volley from the ward just extended himself. Somebody doesn't have any mana left. Ohio, but the ice path locks him down, and he'll be finished off. They go over to the shrine. Raging Pin is being used. Now Eternal Envy arrived. He's taking so much damage. Lumic making big play. Juke around the corner, but Abed giving vision from the raise. Jumps over towards mid, and that will be Endo, I guess, turning up a bit late, or with the rest of his team. Big for Fnatic. They head into the pit. They will not immediately be able to amp it, since they weren't able to pop the Lincolns fast. And that's going to be a big problem. Have the Aegis. Oh,
There's fortune.
I think dealing the majority of the damage.
Yeah, left. Stampede also going to get popped. Can they be with the Sunder? I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Can they keep DJ? She blinks down onto the low ground. Oh, Abed's just waiting. Chucks out the long raise. Finishes him off. Getting chased down now by Ned. He'll be finished off. They do end up losing Lumic as Envy re-engage. Highlight just waiting. Has the blink. He's super fast in the river. He's just playing some games with 2 for 3. We'll count the Aegis loss in all of that. However, so...
Nevermore.
No, it was on Terrorblade. Oh, what's the point of Envy having the Aegis?
You should have went on Terrorblade.
Shadowfiend.
Also, saying the same thing. I said Nevermore. That's Shadowfiend.
Yeah, he's got his Lothars and yeah, it's getting picked off.
That's a good item.
Yep. Later. What else? Too hard. We got actually a fight happening right now. Not really able to turn around and fight. Both already Mass Serpent wards getting dropped down at Fnatic. We're thinking that maybe they should. Meta has also been popped. Execration. I don't know if they can get even fall. Raging Potato. A blink crush into an amp. Got the damage. Oh my god. He's just playing the 4 this game, dude. Check it out. He's got a blink. He's got a.
Why? They could have just swapped the hero. And
yeah, they could have. But do you think Envy would have sundered?
Of course he would.
He would have.
Friends.
Yeah, but highlight die on your screen. You're like, I need to sacrifice.
Pi was his friend getting bullied with him. You know,
yeah.
They're through thick and thin.
This is the anime. Yeah. Execration. What are you on the look? The Razor still has so much net worth, but I feel like impact relative to still low. I mean, even kill participation relatively low. He's just been farming a lot, or it feels like he's been hoping for, but yeah, it's just kind of.
What do you think about his?
Well, he's decided that he heard you. Yeah, Chivas is not the item.
Well, here he is, right? Still has a plate mail.
Yeah, the Requiem Bomb comes in, perfect.
That's Raxus, boy.
You know, or it's mass buybacks, but Mass Serpent ward's getting dropped down. Carl with the right click, stealing some int. Abed gonna pop. They did not use the buyback on the Razor from Execration. They get back and then still like shepherd them out of.
Yeah.
Oh, who are they gonna find? They want this OD over at mid. They're gonna pop the ward up onto the high ground. That is an extremely very, very close to that. In fact, still 20 seconds to go on the Razor. Gonna go scouting out. Does need to be a little bit careful. This is not. It's not an enemy center drop down, but Pi puts in a sentry of his own. D ward, and why not? Ohio's quite close to his head. Insanely annoying for both the OD and. I really like this item choice.
OD and and stuff like that.
Oh. Pi just gonna break the smoke. Heads to the. What else has been used? A couple of charges earlier, so he's down to 8. He's buying a. This what mostly for the. Well, plenty to block with the Lincolns.
Yep. Meanwhile, we got a Yules being worked on. A little strange. Could get rid of the amp on your way to counteract against you see them running, you just use one up. Seems a little narrow.
Yeah, it's also rushes and then you use him. You can kill him. You're not going to get those repeated stuns. Forwards once again, Envy is going to pop the Metamorphosis. Engaging too heavily, but I don't know how Execration can they actually find Carl trying to keep them here. He does force staff himself back up on the, but he's just going to pop the BKB. He does get doomed for Abed to rain down damage. Kills off the Razor. That buyback is still about to be unsilenced. Can they get this Sunder off? They won't be able to. Dead, but is that the only kill they're going to get? Pilot. Not a completely clean disengage from Fnatic. 2 buybacks.
So they can open up the Shrine for the next soon. So.
So when's Roshan? All right, still another minute or so. That's kind of unlucky being an instant Roshan respawn. Point SF has his Shadow, eyeing up his 40%. Any other item progression out? I guess the Hurricane Punch, he gets it. Oh, Execration are just praying for the Roshan respawn. Their prayers will go unanswered. Last game. Gonna be a little bit more cautious this time around. Finishes Lincoln Sphere. Bottom. But alright. And I guess we'll have to see how the positioning goes. From Fnatic has actually slipped.
A lot of base wards, but I think they get so. By the way, it seems like Jakiro
half of an Atos, I think, because
right.
the catch problems, and now he's just. I mean, he's still got the. I don't know, Lumi. You're the analyst. You tell me.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Right, Roshan number 2. Just go in there and hit it, but Envy's got. Yeah, he's just gonna pop everything in. Yeah, and Aegis on the Terrorblade.
Instead of just having him respawn.
But that's not the EUA. I guess he's also the one that's gonna be just standing there.
First, I guess. If I don't know. I think Envy is generally fine these team fights. Again, or else, you know, it's not really.
That's true. It is like a Doom insurance policy, right? Bells. Well, it means that he right? They have to like use the Doom in a really weird way, and then you Doom him so you can kill him, because you can't let him. Framing it that way, decision. Also, the Shadow Fiend has his Lincolns now. Alright, Fnatic being still not that much of a net worth advantage goes on, I think, especially once he picks up this Hex. That impede's still going to be pretty annoying, but it also potentially solves Doom, the Terrorblade, to kill him. Yeah. High ground once. Does have this ward, has his BKB completed. Envy running in, just gonna. Carl actually doing a decent amount of damage to himself. Envy once again. They're gonna jump on the next assassin this time around. He does manage to stay down one. They've killed off the Shaman, and now Abed forces. He's the one with the cheese. Envy, she completely out of mana, getting mana burned up. Abed says Envy is just about to drop his son, but it'll keep everybody alive.
So,
sure. He still doesn't have any mana. That's a clarity. Yeah, it's like I got you.
Did he just run past the illusion room?
He needs full HP illusions. Sure. No, actually just hit him. Sure, yeah. End of the creep wave in that situation, but alright. Free int. Planning. Sanity's Eclipse is still on cool. Got that illusion rune working for Envy as well. I'm a bit surprised that they're not just charging bottom lane, but maybe they had lane responsible for that. Pi trying to de-ward a little bit, running around with his gem. Got a Lotus on the Doom. Potentially pretty nice. Create the opportunity for the Razor to charge in a little bit deep. Lumik. Gonna check out the Ice Path. Does actually connect on the Centaur. Dander just taking so much damage. He's just wasn't able to do anything even with the BKB. Now Lumik also getting caught out. These stuns are just way too much from Fnatic. They've got the lockdown. Okay. Rack's gonna get clean. And Fnatic prop coming in. Shackle controlling Carl, who will be able to finish off D-Time. But Envy still just making such Blink Crush, actually completely out of did Stomp. But I mean, they're just chew through everything. To getting some mana back off of the Aegis being the Execration base absolutely in shambles.
Yeah, and right, like in the previous couple of Blink Stun, Blink Shadow on a next skill or something like that.
Yeah.
But let's just walk up the hill, place down a ward.
Mana burned up. They've got saving him for now. Jakira gonna get crushed up, except for DJ. Oh, once again, Envy with doesn't have the metamorphosis, so I mean, no real opportunity for him at all to turn around. And it feels to me like it doesn't matter how there's no way for him to stand in the
BKB SNY. You need an AC.
Inventory right now. I mean, BKB. Just gonna have to run for it. Keep tabs. Keeping on an Aghanim Scepter. Good item. Especially in, like, jump one person with the Nyx and then just blow them up. But it's worth mentioning that if they lose this, still progress in the future, but it's
That's
not going to
correct.
be the. I mean, they should be teams in the group, right?
Yeah.
AGV.
Although we did see them go into best of 3, so yesterday.
Nyx. Okay, so he didn't finish the Yules. He completed. He's got his level damage. He's gotten a couple of good kills. Feels a lot like off. You kind of get a couple of pickoffs here and there, and then nowhere near that of SR. Something like that. Maybe they picked the Nyx to try and pressure Abed's hero pool a little bit. Right? They'd force him into picking some into Nyx assassin. It didn't really. And Fnatic seemingly connects Roshan, and
I mean, you just definitely wait for the down to the tier 4s, double ward it, and call it a day. Don't let them steal the third row.
To them last time, and it did not. Shadow Fiend is level 25. Yep, he does. 40% cooldown reduction for him. After that, so all the lanes going to be pushed by a 20. Yeah, I don't know how Execution. Even if the Nyx assassin finds somebody, the rest of his team isn't that. Maybe he's got a blink. He can kind of the way that these lanes are getting pushed. The effect past the wave position is not. Pi is constantly scouting, looking for wards with this gem. If you switch it over to the Radiant Vision, like, all they've got is this kind of tinker ward up on the high ground. And yeah, I mean,
Now they're using scan to see if they're getting literally only Pi on their.
Yeah, Abed's just everywhere. He's got his Hex now. The Roshan respawns. All right.
I mean, they don't even have to go for Meg.
Put some wards on top of the.
Probably will be harder because it's not. They'll go for the safe thing, I guess.
Creation. It's not good. It's very not good, Lumi. It's like one pick off. Of course, Fnatic don't know that, but pretty dire straits. Doom's got a BKB to use, and there is a Mr. Eternal Envy Cheese.
Has fallen.
Not on the hero. Lit for
Someone sold
500 gold.
There you go. We're finishing up that big ticket item. Just the Razor, and this Terrorblade is going miles away with the double damage. They're going to jump in, but they laying waste to everything. Abed finding one more snipe on the other side. He's going to try and line up the Rec Room for some stuff. There you go.
Nope. More Rampage? Oh.
Has fallen. The Dire.
Maybe still. Is it over? Play here for the Booker just yet. They do have another opportunity to play. I think that they're.
I
think
could
that's
check in a.
I think that's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes. Or best of 3. Let's see.
Well, it looks like the schedule is moving. There's.
It's evolving as we speak.
Yeah. As we playing Execration, same time we'll be doing one of
The
those
winner,
two.
probably the winner.
Yeah.
We'll decide then. We'll decide.
We'll figure it out. We'll make sure everything's going to be a little bit. Fnatic, I like their draft a lot. I liked their game 2 draft. The game 1 draft, right? Where then it came back, and then we thought the most solid of the 3 drafts that we.
The Terrorblade could have maybe got punched the second pick. Yet to me there weren't enough counters.
Yeah, that's true. They did enough and aimed to scale more.
Okay, on paper, this lineup could actually just push tier 1 very fast.
Yeah,
they could get a early Rex. It's hard to say.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is that he was carry.
Right.
And they took the tier 1 and the tier 2. It definitely seemed like they were kind of there to scout and front line. As mentioned, more action coming your way tomorrow. I'm sure that there are actually other qualifier games going on right this second. I'm gonna go to the watch tab. Yeah, there's more Bucharest major qualifier stuff going on. Looks like EU has started, so I'm gonna encourage everybody to go and check that out. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Lumi, any final thoughts before we let everybody go?
No, I'm good. Looking forward to cast more SCA Dota tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you guys then. Other qualifier games going on right this second. I'm gonna go to the watch tab. Yeah, there's more Bucharest major qualifier stuff going on. Looks like EU has started, so I'm gonna encourage everybody to go and check that out. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Lumi, any final thoughts before we let everybody go?
No, I'm good. Looking forward to cast more SCA Dota tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you guys then.